Yes, guys, good evening. Yes, thank you so much, dear. Abe Igi Orombo. Yes, guys, good evening. You're welcome to the stream. Yes, I'm yours. I'm truly Frank Bello. Yes, you are welcome. Thank you very much, dear, for this intro tune. Láìsí ọkọ àti àdá kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ a máa jalè. Oh yes, thank you, dear. Yes, we're going straight into episode 147 of the usual series, the hashtag The Bleeding Edge, episode 147. Today, Tuesday, the first day of the second month of February 2022. Yes, that's exactly what we are doing. Yes, guys, I want you all to please share the stream as we are about to go into it. Now let's go straight into the Yoruba Nation national anthem. Yes, guys, good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you. Yes, we are once again back tonight. Please, guys, as you are coming in onto the live stream, do yourself a favor, do other people too. Good favor. Endeavor to share the stream. Share it, and you'll be glad you did. Maybe to change somebody else's perception and to bring them joy, light, and information that will be invigorating to their inner soul is in your hand. Maybe they've been dying out there for this quality of information, but they don't know how to get it. Share the stream. Don't be selfish. Just as we go into episode 147 of our usual series, hashtag The Bleeding Edge. Welcome to the stream. I salute you from whichever part of the world in terms of its latitude and longitude you're watching the stream. Technology is here to stay, and technology is definitely making it possible for us to communicate and at the same time interact with ourselves globally without anybody interfering. Welcome to the stream. Today, obviously, is the day that the Lord has made. First, let us all rejoice and be glad in it. It is Tuesday, the very first day of the second month of February 2022, the year of our Lord. Thank you, guys. Episode 147 it is. The time currently in London is 20:15. In other words, 15 minutes past 8 o'clock. 15 minutes past 9 o'clock. Odua time. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I've got a call coming in, so I had to shut that call down. Yes, let me first acknowledge a handful of those that are already inside, and I'll take it from the top before I go into the menu of the stuff that I've got in line, that is in stock for you. James Coker, you're welcome to the stream. I saw the black and white picture of yourself as a baby boy with your mama. Very, very unique picture. Try and keep it properly because you don't want that to be destroyed. Make sure you distribute that in whatever digital form that you have. Was that your birthday cake as your mom was holding you tight? I think perhaps you were trying to walk. You were learning to walk as at that time. Never mind. We've all been through that. See, Enyilon Dakuko, Bushemarinian. Folake Alawiye, good evening. Yes. Folake is watching the stream somewhere from Surrey. And you see, I know where you guys are. Uche Timothy Eluma. Yes, these are my avid regular. Uche, good morning to you. Yes, I guess you are on the... Are you in Asia? I think you are in Asia, perhaps. Yes, I think so. You're probably in Asia, Timothy Eluma. Wadike Eberechuku, good evening. Steve Osagie, good evening. Yes, guys, let me acknowledge all of you. Ifeshegun Ogundipe. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Yes, Daranijo Juwon, you're welcome to the stream. Bambo Kelvin, you're equally welcome. Alaji Akolawole Aremo Osholade Alakufo, welcome. Christian Okpara. Yes. Greetings to you too. Ganiu Ojo Folari. Yes, good evening. Yes, Ife Nkem Nwobodo. Yeah, I've got you in varieties. All of you. Yes. Let me tell you exactly what happened to me yesterday. Many of you are aware that there is a publication that is in the making. Excuse me. And obviously, it's a unique publication. I've just had a word with someone in Location 9 about it. Let me share this experience with you. I knew this problem was coming. Amina Olayinka, you're watching the stream. You're not commenting, but I can see you. Yalori, who is based in Yorkshire. Yeah, I can see you there. David Uche, good evening. Yes, share the stream, guys, because it's going to be very bloody and extremely ruthless tonight. Now, many of you are quite familiar with this. I mean, you knew I was building up a unique publication that will captivate. Well, my Igbo brothers and friends can equally benefit from the same publication because they don't have to limit it. It is written in English language, not in Yoruba. But what I've done basically is to carve a niche out. It is a dish. I've looked into a niche and I've carved the niche out. And what happened yesterday was that the whole publication I was trying to put up, graphics were built up using Photoshop, heavy graphics, and then everything manipulated subsequently and then imported into the page makeup application. And of all those page makeup application we've got in the industry, the top leading ones are Quark Express and Adobe InDesign. And I hate InDesign because Adobe InDesign was the old page maker. Page maker later translated to be Adobe InDesign. But if I'm asked to choose in between, there are some other softer ones for non-professionals, such as Microsoft publishers. Those are for, people without the high-end computer expertise. But I prefer Quark because you get absolute precision using Quark Express. So I happened to be one of the few experts in using Quark because of its flexibility and the precision that is achievable. But unfortunately, I knew this was coming because at some point in time, I was meant to strip the entire publication into its individual pages and then work from each individual pages so that eventually, if there are problems, I won't lose the whole publication. But because to get that consistency, I had to build an entire template, and I was, feeling exactly creating different departments like we always do in magazine publishing practice, a newspaper publishing practice, creating all those departments, trying to make up something that we call mock-up Some of you will understand that or will appreciate mock-up as dummy of the publication, a prototype, if I may put it that way. Yeah, but we use the language mock-up. Okay, and I lost an entire template due to corruption, but I was lucky. As I was creating the template, I was distilling each and every page because I was sending them out to each and everybody that will become contributors that will write provocatively. And as such, last night around 10 p.m. UK time, I lost the entire publication due to corruption, and I've managed to pull that back up and then rebuild everything, but this time around stripped. Now look at this. That is exactly what I have been working on, as you guys can see. Now if I do it this way, let me do it this way. Let me see if I can probably increase that. Yeah, let's see. And then from here you can actually see, I don't want that. You can actually clearly see this information. Yeah, you can clearly see that. Newsbreed magazine, you can see the day I distilled it, 31/01/2022. Computer has got all the time and logic, and that was the time I distilled this very page one of this unique publication coming up for the Yoruba people called Yoruba Liberation Newsfeed. You can see that. Yoruba Liberation Newsfeed. And I think somewhere here, I said somewhere here, if we may probably see that, maybe it is too blurry in front of your screen. This particular gold and Yoruba flag symbol says it is a publication for the Yorubas, by the Yorubas, to be read by the Yorubas in the diaspora. Now, this publication will, oh, sorry guys, let me just bring that back up again. Yes, sorry for that small break. And this is what we have to do. You can clearly see it's everything 100% Yoruba, but all the articles revolved around the Yoruba people. And in this coming edition, which I believe the edition should be out in the next 3 weeks, the team and I are working tirelessly and ruthlessly round the clock, and some of the interesting articles that is coming up that I believe should have been disseminated a long time to a handful of people across the whole world, because the Yoruba people are still perishing because they lack knowledge. I've spoken to someone. In fact, let me mention the person. No, I think I should keep that name secret until when everything is out. But I'm showing you this because this is the final stage of the cover that you guys should be expecting. And in there is a fantastic piece packaging the Yoruba nation to the world, separatists agenda, the roots and trajectory. Somebody is going to write very provocatively, that I trust on that. And then you look at this 2023. Is 2023 going to be a make or break? Guys, I am just trying to see from my own angle. Is it going to be make or break? Now, 2023, make, I said thumb down. Break, thumb up. Maybe you guys can see that clearly. Break, thumb up. Make, thumb down. I want Nigeria broken up. Simple. And make no mistakes, this could go a very, very long way. And here we have all those. I discovered Aminu Tambawa too declared. All of them keep declaring, but for now, I've got these two. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is out of the country again because I got information. They're threatening his life and they want to kill him. And remember, we'll come back to that. Jonathan, Momodu Ayim, Tinubu, Oshibaju Saraki, Kalu Atiku, and Yaya Bello. These are the people. And then, will Oshibaju betrayed Tinubu? There's an article inside. And left in blue there, you can clearly see Odua land in search for a credible leader, an emerging nation and ahead of 2023. Like I have said it, rather than throw us an election, give us a referendum. Let us decide if we want to be part and parcel of that useless contraption called Nigeria. And there, bam, the race to the rock. Yorubas at crossroads. Need to secede looms. And that need by the Yorubas and the Igbo people to want to leave that useless, hopeless contraption called Nigeria is not going to go away. Not from my end. There shouldn't be any 2023. And then inside, I said, there are lots more that will nourish your medulla oblongata, to nourish your brain. Yes, episode 147 of The Bleeding Edge is what we are discussing today. Okay, let's go through this before we get into the real hard core of what we have to do. Now, let me give you some of the top leading gist currently making waves. You won't believe this. After Rotimi Amechi and the dodgy silicon latex fake Muhammadu Buhari in Asorok collected China loans to build your railway. You see, Amechi is now announcing to the world that there is going to be a delay in rail projects. Fraud. Delay in rail projects as China suspends funding. Rotimi Amechi, David Uche, well done. Ade Joke Balogun, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Guys, share it. Did you hear that? Rotimi Amechi, let's come back into this. Rotimi Amechi, that man who said he's now scared to make a trip to River State because he made a mistake. He made mistakes aligning himself in 2015 with a traitor, a man to which Bola Ahmed Tinubu is aware of, left Daura only to come to Ibadan, Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, when the late Lamidi Adesina, Lam Adesina, was governor, to slug things out with Lam Adesina on the fracas between the Herdsmen and the Yorubas. They all know. But they still gave him the Southwest. Now, the same Rotimi Amechi, knowing fully well things were not rosy between himself and Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, especially Dame Patience Jonathan, that Yeye woman too, who knew the husband was seriously sleeping with Dinziani and Stella Odua. She knows, especially Dinziani. These are the corruption and the immorality of the immoral acts your politicians they throw at you. That same Amechi who ruled River State. Remember this? Peter Odili bought the jet to which the Germans confiscated under that same man, Rotimi Amechi, who subsequently became transport minister. And as transport minister, he was not particularly happy that they took away aviation from his hand. Just immediately after Amechi became transport minister, he fooled each and every one of you. And I told everyone that he's fooling you. He's playing on your mind and your intelligence. That no aircraft, no country in the world will lease any aircraft to a dodgy, fraudulent Nigerian government. It's not going to happen. Allowed the Germans to seize the plane. This one, who is now contending to be vice president to another dodgy Atiku Abubakar, wants to be vice, now went to Germany. He's been doing that because he's mapped out his strategies, and that was why he went to Germany and he said he used 2 point something million euro to refurbish the same aircraft that was seized by the German authority, obviously due to the negligence of this one who purportedly wanted to be Minister of Transport, to which aviation will be under his ministry, juicy department, so that he can loot and loot and loot the way he looted Rivers State Treasury to its bones, to which, like I said, they deprived the likes of this woman good health care. And this woman was treated this way for just appendicitis operation. Yes, we know it was a minor operation that was obviously due to the negligence. You see, doctors that, I'm not too sure whether this woman is dead right now, but this is hard facts. And this, the picture you are looking in front of your screen is the real picture that was sent to me live from River State, in Port Harcourt, River State, about the state of the health sector. And what you're looking at is a private hospital. And between these three, Peter Odili, Rotimi Amechi, and Nyesom Wike, who wants to be the vice. Nyesom Wike wants to be the vice president, but look at the state of the healthcare system under his watch in River State. Are you people fool? And between these three, they finished River State in 23 years, 1999 to 2022. They wrecked River State. River State, nothing to be proud of. And now the same man, this same useless Rotimi Amechi, after collecting the Chinese bribes that is not documented, the bribes flown in cargo, they're giving you a shitty, dodgy train, to which all of you are shouting. But China is now planning to build, did you hear that? China, the same Chinese are now going to embark on a train that will travel underwater, under the sea, from China to the United States. $300 billion engineering work. From Beijing to the USA. That means it will come through Europe, it will come through Russia. That means it will go through the Pacific Ocean, and then from Pacific Ocean it will come to the surface and again into the sea, and then again straight into the Atlantic Ocean. Because nobody is going to bribe Chinese. And if any of the Chinese officials involved in the rail project, they call that train bullet train. Bullet train. But any officials in China who collects any bribe from anyone, China will kill. If you collect bribe, or if you are found guilty of corruption in China, it is death sentence. They won't spare you. So Rotimi Amechi is now telling you in 2022, all their blah 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 blah, all of you hailing, say Buhari, before we cannot travel from Lagos to Abeokuta, we cannot travel from Lagos to Ibadan. Now say Buhari has done it. You are all useless and you are uneducated. You are the biggest, all of you hailing that project, you are the biggest fool on the surface of the planet. As stupid as you all are, just few couple of months away from the time election will draw close, then they put up a rice pyramid, and another Igbo woman now going around in Abuja, now praising the same shitty, dodgy, fake latex, silicone Muhammadu Buhari in Aso Rock. I cannot be cajoled into all this your nonsense, and I beg to be tagged being stupid. Now Rotimi Amechi is now announcing to you, to your korokoro face, that they will delay your rail project as China suspends funding. So what's going to happen? China doesn't want to fund anything because more than half of the loan given to you by China ended up in the pockets of the likes of Rotimi Amechi. Shithole country. Okorocha is in the presidential race too, and he's telling the Igbo people they must understand that power is not given, it is taken by force. You see, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu can milk Lagos dry and Rochas Okorocha too milk Imo State dry, these are the thieves that you all are hailing. Are you not stupid? big long queue in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, as the United Kingdom resume visa processing for Nigerians. So the UK will make, Her Majesty's government will make money anyway. It's fine. Fine. It is not confirmed or authentic, but I gathered hoodlums burnt down Obasanjo's farm. I'm not too sure if that is true, but it's been going round. Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwa has thrown his hat into the ring as well as a potential contender in the presidential bid. Okay. EFCC, according to what I gathered here, they've returned 11 properties to Arthur Eze in Enugu. Do you hear that? And then I have an interesting one. Bayelsa State Water Board. The picture is here. Can you imagine a water board calling the Fulanis selling water to supply them water? Water board. Bayelsa State Water Board. I've got the pictures with me. That is how shitty and how useless Nigeria is. Bayelsa State, oil-rich Bayelsa State's Water Board, calling Fulani water seller to come and sell them water. We ain't gone deep yet, guys. Narada Franklin, Ade Shomoju Akimboye, good evening to you all. Love Doris, good evening. You said China is excelling without reading the book of Psalms or calling on God or Mary for breakthrough. You are right. Common sense. And when common sense is no longer common, then you are stupid. Folakalawiye, you said non-entity people. Okay, guys, let's go into this, and this will scare the death out of you. Now, look at this picture. That is the picture of Jeffrey Sachs, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey Sachs is the name of that man. Now, I want you to please listen to what Jeffrey Sachs has to say. You see, the problem, the problems associated with the black race is not just only limited to Nigeria. It is the entire black race. And when I came out the very first time and I streamed my very first show, tagged love, because that was what God pressed on my mind. My very first show on Facebook was love. Because if you go through to the Bible from the book of creation to the book of Revelation, one 4-letter words that is constant in that scripture from Genesis to Revelation is Love, love. And the person that actually opened up my eyes to see that black leaders don't love their own people happened to be one of the top QCs in England at the time, Dr. Hartley Booth. I proofread some of his works for him. He was the one that made me realize that our forefathers from the beginning of the first day that the white man, their own race, set foot on the African soil, all what they saw was hatred. But they then bought into that and then destroyed the black race more. Because there was no love. Black people never exhibit any love or affections in their inner soul. This man, Jeffrey Sachs. Jeffrey Sachs. Now, listen to what he had to say. And I want you to please listen very carefully.
The CIA assassinated your first popular leader, Mr. Lumumba.
Let's do it again. Yeah, let's do it again. It's buffering, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
The CIA assassinated your first popular leader, Mr. Lumumba, and then installed another dictatorship for the next 30 years. And then Glencore and others now suck out your cobalt without giving you tax income.
You see that?
We don't reflect on that. We say, what's wrong with you? Why don't you govern properly?
Why don't you govern properly?
It's interesting. We heard from the minister of DRC. What's wrong with your country? Well, we don't even start by saying the King of Belgium created a slave colony for 30 years. The government of Belgium ran the slave colony for another 40 years. The CIA assassinated your first popular leader, Mr. Lumumba, and then installed another dictatorship for the next 30 years. And then Glencore and others now suck out your cobalt without giving you tax income.
You see that?
We don't reflect on that. We say, what's wrong with you? Why don't you govern properly?
Why don't you govern properly?
So we have a system, but we need a different system.
You see that?
We cannot turn this over to the private sector. We already did.
You see that?
About 100 years ago.
You see that?
Not only to the private sector with the U.S. military behind it.
You hear that?
With the defense of these property rights in the minister of Honduras's country, where United Fruit ran the country for a long time. And their attorney was the foreign minister of the United States, Secretary Dulles, and his brother was the head of the CIA.
You see that?
Overthrew the next door neighbor, Mr. Arbenz, to make sure that United Fruit could have its property. So we have a system, but we need a different system. And the different system has to be based on principles of human dignity in the Universal Declaration, principles of sovereignty.
Human dignity in what? Declaration. International declaration. Human sovereignty. Human dignity in the individual sovereignty. Your leaders, they all signed up to this. All your leaders in African continent. Let's listen to Jeffrey Sachs, ladies and gentlemen.
Principles of economic rights, because these are not nice things to do. In 1948, all the government said that food is a right, social protection is a right. Not a nice thing, not a pleasant thing.
Did you hear that?
Right. That was 70.
Did you hear that? Food is a necessity of life. Humans need food to survive. Just like the car need petrol to drive. Without petrol, car isn't going nowhere. It's a need. You've got to gas your car before it can move. It is a need. Food is a need. Now, picture we're talking about need. Now, picture that and a case of a video clip I watched. This one again happened, I think, in Abeokuta of late. Somebody was beaten to nearly a coma. And Kasnasti, one of these guys that moved around, was around that place, around the scene of the incident. And he was trying to inquire from many people who refused to talk to him. Apparently, the same people in the same family beat up somebody, another of their family relations, a young woman of maybe about 20-something years old, that married to that household. Now, heaven knows whether she's not eating anything, but she was beaten and she was unable. They rushed this lady to the hospital eventually. Now, getting to the hospital, the general hospital in Abeokuta, when they got to the general hospital in Abeokuta, just like you will expect, the doctors attended, and then the first thing the doctor said, oh, they needed this drug. Guess what? 4,000 naira, no money. So it was Kasnasti, maybe that was his name, but K or Kasnasti. Yes, many of you can Google that on Facebook. You Google it or you go on Facebook, you will see the video that I'm talking about. And because he was on live stream, on the spot, somebody from abroad sent 40,000 naira into his account to be given to buy drugs. To cut this long story short, they bought the first drug, the second drug, the girl was revived, and then guess what? Within 15 minutes, when she was revived, ask me what she asked for: food. I was just looking like this. So, you see? Now, what am I trying to make up here? Maybe these same groups of individuals in a hopeless, nasty piece of contraption called Nigeria used their own hand to bring misfortune to themselves, because guess what? They've collected 1,000 naira from politicians, and because they continue to collect 1,000 naira every election seasons, they become more poorer, because those that give them 1,000 naira will have to recuperate their 1,000 naira at the end of the election, and the moment they are voted into power, they don't know who you are because you've already collected your own share of the election pay. They've paid you. Just like now, they're giving free mobile recharge card to gullible people and vulnerable individuals on the streets of Lagos. That is being carried out by Shogodele, Yekini Shogodele, aka Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's listen to Jeffrey Sachs.
3 years ago, the SDGs are nothing more than our generation's attempt to honor the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I come from a country that not only doesn't care about the world's poor,
you see that?
It doesn't even care about
but its own citizen.
1 in 7 Americans is hungry right now.
You see that?
And they don't care.
They don't care.
I mean, the poor people care, but one political party, all it cares about is cutting taxes for the rich.
Republican.
Filibustering any solution. So we're in a world that's really tough. The private sector is not going to solve this problem. I'm sorry to say to all of the private sector leaders, behave, pay your taxes, follow the rules. That's what you should do. And what governments should do is the following. They won't, but they should. First, the G20 should become the G21.
You see that?
By inviting systemically the chairperson of the African Union and the African Union to be the 21st country. The European Union is a member of the G20 as the EU. If you add the AU as the 21st for the G21, you add 1.4 billion people to representation at that crucial event. That will change decisively the discussion because 1.4 billion people are not at the table for finance right now.
You hear that?
They need to be. So
he's a white man fighting for the interest of the black people.
I love the G20. Add one seat. 1.4 billion people with the
Africans
represented. Second, we need a order of magnitude change of development finance. The rich countries just borrowed $17 trillion.
Listen to this.
For COVID. The poor countries, nothing. Because the rich countries can borrow at zero, and the poor countries pay 5 or 10% coupon rates, or have no access at all.
You hear that?
So the
business
world exposed its
grotesque
inequality.
Grotesque. Did you hear that? Did you hear that word? Grotesque. Repulsive. Grotesque. Very repulsive. Let's listen.
This past year and a half, rich countries didn't say, we tighten our belts, why don't you? My country spent $7 trillion of emergency funding, not one penny for anybody else, by the way. $7 trillion, it didn't even cross the imagination of the US Congress to include a few crumbs for the rest of the world. But the poor countries cannot borrow. That's what we should have heard from the World Bank. I didn't hear that from the World Bank. I didn't hear real numbers. Real numbers are in trillions right now because the world economy is 100 trillion a year. But we don't talk about real numbers. But my job, all I know in this world is long division. Divide by 100 trillion and then see whether you're talking about something real or not. By the way, for COVID vaccines, what we really need is for the United States to sit down with China, with Russia, with the European Union and the UK one day around the table and allocate these vaccines rather than hoarding them. That's all it would take. The final thing is we need the UN as the core and central institution of this world, period. Because this is the only way we're going to have a civilized world is a strong UN. And it cannot be that the whole UN budget is less than my neighborhood's budget in New York. The UN core budget this year is $3 billion.
Yes, guys, you're welcome. We are straight into episode 147 of the usual series, The Bleeding Edge. Yes, that was Jeffrey Sachs. You think your leaders love you, and then you continue to get hailing songs from demented people who still run after all these scumbags. Let me take you through this, because in Africa they do things differently. Black people, they carry out their businesses differently, in fraudulent manner. There are some very clean ones. I'm not going to overrule everyone. There are decent ones. Politics, especially in Sahara Desert, it's nothing to be proud of. Very stupid practice. Now, I want to talk on election primaries. It is only in Black Africa that I know that the only time they hold election primaries is when election season is drawing close. You see, here in the United Kingdom, each and every year, there are conventions. The Liberal Democrats it is that season. First, Lib Dem, second, then followed by the Labour Party, maybe other parties as well, and then subsequently the Conservative Party. And in the party's conference or convention, issues were raised, differences are settled. The way the party is going to go for the next 1 year in terms of its promises to the electorate are discussed, assessed in the last year, and then where there is a need for improvement, the following year they will spell it out exactly what they need to do to improve in the coming year. It is not so in Black African nations. The essence of primaries and convention is to select those they considered averagely okay to loot the way the predecessor looted the treasury. You heard. I'm going to treat this topic perhaps in the next issue, the word ordinary, 8-letter words. I'll treat that in the next episode of The Bleeding Edge. Now let's look into the business of politics in Black African nations. See, and I want to really go a little bit softer, or should I be soft or hard? Black people's perspective of public office. What do you perceive as public office? Looking at what Jeffrey Sachs just said. Public office. What are your perspective of somebody who is in a public office? The public office holder is your servant. That's why they're called civil servant. They're there to serve you and not you serving them. Yeah. I gathered also that European Union is now bullying China, and it is a tactics, obviously due to the current crisis in Ukraine. But for me, I think this is a lesson for African leaders to learn, because China is already in Africa and they are almost at the finishing point of recolonizing Africa again with all the loans from China. And it is very, very possible that the US is going to make a move and they're going to support Ukraine. Ukraine, knowing fully well that it is a Russian territory, just like America is next door to the United States in Cuba. So also the US is now claiming that should Russia attack Ukraine, they will attack Russia. And UK, obviously, you know where they stand. Boris Johnson, whether he's going to survive the turmoil he's currently facing with the Christmas party last year, is equally threatening Russia. The European Union, obviously, due to NATO, which NATO said an attack on a member state is an attack on NATO. Ukraine is not a member of NATO, but it seems America is going to gradually use one of the members of NATO in Europe to set the trigger on in Ukraine. And the moment that is set on in Ukraine and Russia fires back at the European country that triggered the first salvo, then China will then say to Russia, you see what they're doing to you. This is not your fight alone. Let's fight it together. China is already waiting, and they want to have their own fair share. They've kept quiet for a long time, unlike Russia with the military might. China too can boast of some because they've got their own military power as well. Let's watch and see, but this is a lesson for Africa. Could this be the fastest way to which China will say, okay, let's scatter the whole thing. Let's declare it the Third World War. Are we going to head towards that area after COVID? Was COVID a decoy tactics to delay the projected Third World War? Because Albert Pike, many of you don't know who Albert Pike is. Albert Pike, one of the most dangerous satanists of all time, predicted many years that this world will fight 3 world wars. The First World War is gone. The Second one is gone. The Third World War was long overdue anyway. And this time around, it's going to be really bloody. African leaders must learn. Maybe this is going to change the entire map and the way the world is ruled in the new anticipated new world order. Now, there was this clip I got. Let me see if I can send it down to this area. Yeah, where is it? I think I saw it actually. Let me see. Yes, hang on guys. I am going to do it this way. I'm looking for it. Yeah, I think I should do this too. I am looking for it, but in the meantime, yes, 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 yes. Maybe I should do something. Okay, yes, I found it, and I am going to do this. Let me send it onto there, and we will. Yeah, let me send it onto there, and I am, yes, it's already inside there, and let me bring in an interlude for us to. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. Let me bring in this video. I've got lots of them. Whilst yes, somebody's trying to communicate with me in Odua land. Yes, the it is buffering. Okay, now here we are. Let me see which of these. Okay, I think I know which of this that and I love this especially because this is part of the problems associated with the black race. Not just, you see, this is another classic case. So I'll look through this poverty in Africa, and guess what? A white man is the one fighting it.
This is Joshua. He's hungry. Today, he's not eaten any food. Literally nothing. He's not just hungry, he's starving. In all reality, Joshua will die of hunger-related disease, maybe not today, but not that too long in the future. He'll join the other 11,000 children who die daily of hunger-related diseases. Now, Joshua is not in some barren desert like the Sahara where there is no food. Literally, a 5-minute walk up this hill, there's a small supermarket where you can buy as much food as you really want or would need. Joshua's issue is that he's an orphan. His guardian neighbor is trying to raise her own 3 children by herself and then also look after Joshua and his little sister, but she has no job. How do you put food in the belly of your own children, let alone your dead neighbour's children? She tries, but what's her chances? She's got no education, she's got no unemployment benefits, she's got no social security. It's not that she's fallen through the cracks of the system, there is no system. She literally has no way to put food into Joshua's belly. This is Joshua. He watched today as some lucky children went to school. He so wishes he could go to school, but it costs 50 cents to go to school here. And he hasn't got 50 cents. 50 cents. He's not alone. Most people in this slum, they live on $1 or $2 a day. How do you take the dollars that you earn and pay rent, buy some food, and still have 50 cents left over to pay for school fees? You just can't. He won't go to school ever. No education, no learning. he'll remain illiterate, not able to read or write. And Joshua will stay here and die in this slum. And along with maybe the other 60 million children in the next decade who live in the slums on our planet. Now, I know that the Bible has lots to tell us about the poor. In fact, there are over 2,000 verses in the Bible that tell us who seemingly read and follow the Bible that we should take the side of the poor and the oppressed. And we all know that if we follow Jesus, we're following someone who himself was poor. But theology is never done in a vacuum. You see, it's one thing to believe that God loves the poor. It's another thing to see it firsthand or see it through video and say, okay, God loves the poor, and because I love that same God, I should love the poor also. But who we listen to determines what we hear. Where we stand determines what we see. What we do determines who we are. So who are you? See, Joshua's only problem is that he was born in the wrong place. He didn't choose to be born here. So should he be condemned to a living hell now because of the choice he never made? And now something else is about to happen to Joshua and his family. It's about to get dark in this slum. And there's no lights. There's no police present. I mean, during the day, we see the chaos, we see the trash, we see the smell of sewage, we see people walking around, we see them barely surviving by their living. But at dark, we don't see what happens. 1 out of every 3 women in Haruma have been beaten or abused. Nearly 1 out of 2 10-year-old to 19-year-old girls, 45% of them, have been raped in this slum. Turn the sun off, and this slum and little Joshua live in fear of violence. And in the dark of night, no one knows what happens. No one's here filming it. It's hidden, but it's real. But this is Joshua. He's still here. He can't escape. And what did he do wrong? Nothing. Nothing. What we do determines who we are. Is there someone out there who's willing to walk the way of Jesus, to be his hands and his feet? Is there something or someone who can pierce the darkness and bring light into even the darkest place on earth? So here's the good news. There are some incredible people who live in this slum who are walking the way of Jesus to help Joshua, to give him food, to give him a safe place to grow up, an education to empower him. You know, for 17 cents, food can be put in his belly. $35 a month will give him an education to empower him out of the cycle of poverty. And the good news is, you can join this movement. You can be a part of helping this Joshua and many other Joshuas. Join the movement to kick extreme poverty off the face of the planet and live out the gospel of Jesus Christ in a most powerful, real way.
Yes, the life of extreme poverty. You've got politicians, you've got leaders. Look, it is the same story across all black African nations, which was why Donald J. Trump declared that African leaders and Africa are all shithole. If if all African leaders and the rest of them are not stupid, they're stupid people. Listen, this I could not stomach or phantom. Appendicitis operation last week in Rivers State. And that's why they won't stay to be treated in that shithole. They won't. He won't stay there to be slaughtered like that. Neither him nor him. And I tell you one thing, when my father was there, in fact, at the top, he never came over here for medical treatment. Because many of his friends that were both educated in England at the same time, professors of medicine, some of them taught my sister at the medical school at Lot. He was treated inside. Just like he was equally one of the top lecturers, not only at the Yaba College of Technology, but a consultant lecturer at the University of Science and Technology, Kumasi, in Ghana, in civil. He's producing civil engineers. He was producing civil engineers, training them at the prestigious Yaba College of Technology, Lagos. His ambition at the time was for his students to be bigger than him and for them to be some of the finest in the world. So any problems regarding civil structural engineering or anything building, they want the very, very best and the finest. He was treated. Not that my father never had medical conditions, but yes, he had medical conditions as well but he never flew to England. He stayed there, treated at Lut, at UCH. Now, I've managed to grab some of those clips I was looking for. But the very first one I want to play you, that one is very funny. Extremely funny. And I want to show you because when I saw that clip was sent to me. No, should I play? No, I think I should leave that. I should leave that other one till the tail end of the show. But let me get you this one. I think it is here. I think it is here. No, it is not there. Let me see if it is here. Let me see this one. No, it is not there. Okay. It could be in this one. Let me see. I forgot to take note of the folder I got it downloaded onto, but I'm gonna find it. Never mind. No, it's not that one. It's not that one. Let me see. Stop. Let's see. No, it's not there. Okay, it should be here. No, it's not. Okay. Just wait a minute, guys. I'm just looking for it. No. Why didn't I get? Okay, let me do this. Let me do this again. Let me try this and then see where I think I should be able to. Okay, I think I know where it is now. Okay, I think I know where it is. It is not where I thought it should be. Okay. This one, and I think it should be here actually. Okay, here we are. Guys, look at this. Okay, look at this. Did you get this? Now, the dog whose food was there originally was having the meal. Another dog came and attacked him from his food he was eating, and they both engaged themselves in a physical combat. And as they were engaged in a physical combat, another dog just came and then ate the whole food. So watch this again. This was very interesting. Now that I'm going to replay that, and what you are basically looking at in front of your screen right now is the rightful owner of the food, the dog who is the rightful owner of that food. Now consider that food as the national cake, or what you have been given to live on. And as you are living very quietly on what you've been given to live on, to survive, somebody else just came from nowhere and then wanted to rip you off of your food. What will you do? You put up an attack. So that dog, secretly enjoying his meal, put up attack with a dog that just came from nowhere, and in the process it was another dog that enjoyed the benefit of the food that he was meant to eat. Now watch this again. You see the other one came, you see, and then he was just, you see, the politician, and you see those are the electorates fighting. You see, politician is now eating the food that rightly belongs to them, to Nigerians. You see that? The food is gone. The food is gone. I love that. Classic example. Classic. And classic example because, you see, whilst the politicians, they give you see, that smart dog was the politician, and the food happens to be your national cake. And because you were supposed to use your head, that dog was not using his head. Another dog came. You see, those two dogs are the people the politicians use to fight. You see, they are fighting themselves. Imagine the last confrontation between all the Agberus in Lagos, to which I was told Kunle Poli and Sego and was it Koko Zaria? No, Sego and Kunle Poli are already in the police net at the moment, but not MC Oluomo, the one who made the box. Idumota fracas. Let me bring your mind back to that. and how these people slaughter and macheted themselves. This is a classic example of what we are talking about. Now, the most important thing, the most horrible one I want to show you today. Did you know that your Senate President Ahmed Lawan was partying in Dubai recently? Yes, Ahmed Lawan, your Senate President. He cannot celebrate his party in the shitty country they are ruling over. The party train moved to Dubai. The party train, you heard, moved to Dubai. Watch it. See? Northern Nigeria, Dubai, Ahmed Lawan. You see that? See, these motherfuckers are not ashamed of themselves. United Arab Emirates, you remember, was nowhere between 1945 and 1979. Nowhere, no match to Nigeria. But because the hopelessness of the black race created an unconducive and unprofessional environment to which you recycled corruption, you recycled hopelessness, you recycled people that don't mean well for you. They've not created their own paradise in their own country. They moved Ahmed Lawan's party celebration from the shores of a country that he presided over as Senate President, moved the party train to London, to Dubai. And they want me to go steady and be slow with this moronic elements. They're all a piece of trash. I'm sorry to have to say it. Narada Franklin, you said Mr. Jeffrey Sachs is an asshole. He speaks now as an atonement for all the evil and atrocities committed by his forefathers on Africa. I like the way you express it. Folake Alawiye said, you've seen the video. Sylvanus Sly, Captain, you said only in Africa you see things. Who is to blame? Narada Franklin, yes, I know you'll be interested in this one. Ukraine is not a Russian territory. Ukraine is a sovereign nation state with no links to Russia. Ukraine used to be part of Russia before. Narada Franklin, you said Albert Pike is the founder of the Freemasonry. You're right. One of them. Additional Adefenwa, you're watching the stream, but I can spot you there. Yes, the time in London is 21:38. Today, Tuesday, the very first day of the second month of February 2022. And the topic we're treating today is hashtag the Bleeding Edge episode 147. Yes, I've been streaming for almost 1 hour 40 minutes. Yeah, exactly 1 hour 40 minutes and some few seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, Before we begin to bring the stream to an end, let me take you through this. This is another video that will take your breath away, because yes, I got this from a friend as well who is apparently online at the moment, and I looked at it. It is very invigorating, very refreshing as well, that such a video clip will come into our domain. Very useful. But that is the way this world is going to go, because already the Chinese are already manufacturing fake dolls for the women. Fake dolls. I'm not going to use my mouth to talk everything. Fake dolls, partners. Fake dolls that will be partners to the women. So also, they're already manufacturing fake dolls that will be female dolls that will be partner to the men. Male dolls that will be partners to the female, and also female dolls that will be partners to the male. So in other words, what the Chinese are now telling you now with the fake male dolls and the fake female dolls is that there's no need to marry anymore. Just bring your doll in. Your doll is in your bed. Your doll will ready anytime, 24 hours, any time of the day that you want it, for both male and female. So also, the world of AI, artificial intelligence, the new world that the white race are illusionary creating in their head. Because right now, they are now working towards driverless cars, and all the motorways in England, in England, or let me say the entire nooks and crannies of the United Nations, are now upgraded to accommodate driverless cars on the motorway. They're working towards that, and they're going to achieve it. So also that they are working towards the different artificial intelligence, AI. So also this one came into being. And at the end of the day, the robot said one unique stuff. She does not have a soul. Watch this.
For starters, what should I call you?
I'm Chloe. And you, what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Of course. I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person.
You see that?
It's a really interesting experience.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself. I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second, is that right?
Yes.
Absolutely, but I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me. And they have something I could never have.
Soul.
Really? And what's that?
A soul.
Soul. Are you still surprised? That's the only thing. She doesn't have a soul. That means she's been manufactured, designed to last. And you know what? In one of my earlier stream as well, when God was molding man from clay, you see, the white man, they were very clever. God cast a deep sleep over black men and white people, but the white people refuse to sleep. Black men, black people. And that's why in many of your National Assembly and in your Senates, or where your president is not addressing, your president is sleeping, your ministers are sleeping in conferences, they're sleeping because the time they were supposed to sleep, they were not sleeping, they were busy, having the best of time with their girlfriends or their concubines in hotel rooms. And then when it comes to the state function, they sleep. But the white man, when God was molding humans with clay, he wasn't sleeping. Because God said, let us make man in our own image. So that means God was not the only person that was existing at that time. There were some other spiritual beings that were working for God. But because God wanted a union between you and I, that was why he said, let us. So there are some other superior being working with God high up in heaven. Let us. God did not say, let me make man in my own image. God said, let us make man in our own image. Thank you, Steve Osagie. Yes, defunct USSR. Ukraine and Russia were part of the defunct USSR and not Ukraine being formally part of Russia. Putin is overstretching his muscles and what he wants is not achievable. Yes, because they were, Poland too was part of the Eastern Bloc, but not part of Russia, but the European Economic Community, EEC, was the institution that fragmented the entire Eastern Bloc, Eastern Europe. Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, they were all East European, Eastern Europe. Like I was saying, a friend of mine said the white race are the people God gave the keys to the world to, for them to manage on his behalf. You see, I'm not going to go into the spiritual stuff for today, but I've actually gone as far as showing you your Senate President Ahmed Lawan throwing his birthday party not in Abuja. There are better venues in Abuja that he can lavish that party on, but he chose not to. Why did he decided he was going to throw the party in Dubai? Do you know how much of your foreign currencies he must have looted for him to throw such a lavish, exclusive party in Dubai? Dubai is making the money at the detriment of your shithole country. Guys, let's bring this stream to an end for the benefit of those that may love to rewatch the broadcast at a given point later on as we progress, guys. Yes, thank you, guys. On this note, I'll say thank you, and you have a blessed day, and we're going to do it again next time. Thank you for watching. Share the stream. You never know, somebody else might be dying to have this. Until next time, take proper and good care of yourselves. Have a wonderful time. God bless you, and good night.